What's going on, everybody? Look, make sure you like this video, share this video, comment on this video, and also make sure you subscribe to my page here on YouTube. And without further ado, I want to go ahead and jump right in. It's something very, very serious that I think a lot of men struggle with. And what I want to talk about today is, why can't you tell your woman what it really and truthfully is? All right? Why? Why are men today so afraid of women? Well, the cancel society that we live in doesn't make it easy for us to be the men we need to be. But obviously, we created this infrastructure that we have here, and in the world, it is the best infrastructure that has led us to be a world power. Now, some of the things that we do is it was right, and some of the things we do is wrong. But nonetheless, where we are right now, you have people who would do anything to get over to America because it's known as the land of opportunity. So who created this infrastructure? Okay? I'm not talking about slavery, all right? When we talk about slavery, that was men, women, and children, right? But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about modern day. Who put the infrastructure together, the technology together? Okay? Who did the dirty work? The stuff that was dangerous. Jobs that are scary. I'm talking about mining. I'm talking about roads. I'm talking about computers. Not talking about the details of computer work, where I'm just straight talking about the infrastructure that we have and the blue collar that it took to get that infrastructure together. When blue collar work was just blue collar work and it was really no such thing as white collar work, well, it was, but white collar work at that time was just supervising and overseeing, right? But when we start talking about the infrastructure of this world, or in particular this country, who did that? Who did that? When we start talking about jobs, okay, today, what are the jobs that women do? If What are the typical jobs that women do? What categories? It's typically in a servant category, behind a desk, or, and this kind of falls into it, hospitality. That's where most of their work comes in. You don't typically have you seen a group of women working on roofs, working underneath homes, working in the sewer, trash, and sanitation, bridge work, road work, construction, stuff that can be power lines. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't women that do that. Shout out to the women that do that. But also shout out to the women that don't do that. But what I'm saying is, most women, if given the choice, will choose a job in those categories that I just told you versus infrastructure. Sure, you got women that are architects. Sure, you got women that are in construction, chopping down trees, those types of things. But when you see that, do you go, oh, that's typical? Or do you sit back and say, wow? Or are you taken aback? We know the answer is you're taken aback, because you seeing a woman working on your, if it's six guys working on your roof, right, and one woman working on your roof, the question is, are you going to see a 7-person crew working on your roof, and 6 of them are going to be women, and 1 of them are going to be men. So I'm not trying to be gender biased or whatever the case may be. What I'm saying is, when given the opportunity to choose, women will choose to do the jobs that will be less demanding on them physically, but they'll take on the challenge of something that's demanding on them physically. Mentally. But we have created men are problem solvers. So when a woman has a problem or a man has a problem, there's always a look for men because of our design to be producers. Whether we're good or not, it's our design to be producers. We want to produce the solution to the problem. Period. We don't want to argue about it. We don't want to fuss and carry on about it. We don't want to nag about it. We just want to solve the problem. A lot of times in relationships, if a woman comes to a man about a problem in their relationship, most men will be like, all right, so what do you want to do about it? What is the solution about it? And this sometimes irritates a woman to no end, because a lot of times women want to be heard. A lot of times women want to talk from a therapeutic standpoint about the problem. She's not really interested in solving the problem. She may want to solve the problem, but a lot of times, because if she's in her feelings, being heard is the most important thing to her. Being considered is the most important thing to her. And fellas, we go a little overboard sometimes. A lot of times we go overboard because we take it even further than considering her feelings and her concerns. We just want to just have so much peace that we're willing to just give her whatever she wants. Happy wife, happy life. Give her whatever she wants just for her to be quiet. And the problem with that is it gets you off of your path of purpose. You can't, fellas, if you're with a woman, and I'm saying this as a married man, I love my wife dearly, but if you're with a woman and your number one priority on this earth is her, that's your problem. That's your problem. Because women are like the wind, okay? Their feelings can have them all over the place. And I'm not saying there aren't women out there who don't have their feelings in check. But what I'm saying is women are emotional. And so they can feel about a certain thing a certain way one day, and then the next day they won't. Case in point, you may meet a girl and she ain't really interested in a relationship. She just want to chill and have fun. And so you go, well, that's exactly what I want to do. And then next thing you know, y'all chilling and having fun, and then it becomes not enough for her. And she say something like, what are we doing here? I need a ring on my finger. Or you know what? If you can't marry me, then I'm not going to give you access to me. And you're sitting there saying, but I thought that you wanted to just have a good time and chill. And we were having a great time and we were chilling. And she said, that was then, this is now. So if you start off letting a woman dictate what the relationship between the two of you is going to be comprised of, you may find yourself in an emotional roller coaster. Now, I'm not saying that women should not be able to voice and speak about what they need and what they want. On the contrary, I am saying that they should do that. But what I'm saying equally is you have to be able to be clear with that woman what you're looking for, seeking, and desiring. And if it's something that she wants that you do not want, you need to tell her so she has the opportunity to either make the adjustment because she wants to be with you, or say, I can't make that adjustment and I don't need to be with you. But what happens is you got men say whatever a woman wants to hear. And a woman will visually display whatever a man wants to see. And the problem with that is those are sought lies and those are heard lies. Because you certainly don't want to tell a woman that you want to be with you something that she doesn't want to hear. See, that's what we call game. And a lot of women don't even want to talk to a guy unless he got good game. She will make fun of a guy if he comes, you lame, you ain't got no good game. Why? Do you want game? Because game ain't real. See, when we play games, that is nothing real about games. But when we're being serious, it ain't no game. So why are we playing games with something that is so serious? Would you get in a car and drive it like you would drive Gran Turismo, a video game where you're riding 150, 200 miles an hour? Would you drive a car like that? Heck no, because there's no reset button on that. You crash something, you're going to feel it. You might die. You might become paralyzed. So you're not going to just play games about things that are serious. So why do we do that when we enter relationships or when we embark on a possibility of a relationship? I didn't like the way you presented that, so I think you're lame. You want to get to know somebody and meet somebody, you go to them and you say, hello, how are you doing? My name is Lee, or whatever your name is. My name is so and so and so. And hey, listen, I was very interested. From what I can see, you're a very beautiful woman. And I'd like to be able to get to know you sometimes. If that woman says, you lame for saying that, congratulations, man. You did yourself a good favor, man. You don't need to waste time with that woman. That woman is into gameplay. It should be no game. It should be some semblance of straightforwardness. Yes, it's nice to sprinkle in flirting. It's nice to sprinkle in cool dispositions of words and things of that nature. But the foundation should be real, no game. If you have intentions with a woman, you need to, at some point early, let her know what the intentions are. Even if you think it's shallow, what you're asking for, she may be on shallow time too. And yes, I know I said earlier, she may change her mind. She might want something deeper with you. But make it clear to her, hey, listen, if this is what you want, this is what you want. And I'm cool with that. But I'm just telling you right now, I don't foresee myself anytime soon looking for something serious with you or anyone. So if it ever becomes that, we might have to reevaluate and may have to suspend what we're doing here. And that sounds cold, but you get respect at the end of the day for being truthful and upfront. That's what you have to be with people. You waste people time lying to them, telling them what they want to hear, fellas. You waste their time. You spend so much time tricking and lying, and next thing you know, you got yourself invested, and what's even worse, you got a woman, an unsuspecting woman, vested in you because she thinks it's going somewhere great, but you guys haven't even had the discussion about where you'd like to take things and where you'd like to go. You say things like, I don't want her to know that I want to be in a relationship. Well, it's always a way that you can say something. For instance, you don't have to tell this woman that you want and you're seeking a relationship with her. You can tell her, listen, I'm not out here playing any games. I do like to have fun, but in reality, in the scope of things, I'd like to ultimately be in a relationship one day. I'd like to be married one day, and I'd like to have children one day. That doesn't mean, oh my gosh, she was talking about children on her first thing. No, you just letting them know, listen, what I ultimately want from someone, don't put them in it. What I'd ultimately like from someone is to build with someone, have children with someone. Of course, I don't want to have children right this second, but I do ultimately want to have children. Oh, how many children do you want to have? I want to have at least 2 children or 3. Oh, that gives her an opportunity to see if she can fathom pushing 3 kids out of her. She might say, ain't no way I can have one, but I ain't gonna have 3. Now, if you know in your heart of hearts you want to have 3 children and she is only willing to give you one and you can't and you're not willing to compromise on that, you're going to be a miserable person if you allow yourself to accept being with her because you desperately want her companionship and her help to be with her, and she only going to pump out one of those children. Any woman, listen, men have visions and women have visions, but a woman that wants to be with you, she will make the adjustments to be with you. And whatever you're looking for and asking for the right kind of woman, she won't have a problem making that adjustment because she ultimately wants what she wants. And she may discover through you that there is a different path to getting there, and she's willing to go on that path with you. You just can't just be like, oh, she doesn't want to have children, so, but man, look at her, she's so fine. She's so beautiful. I need her. I guess kids ain't important. Love is blind, and love will make you cloudy. Your feelings will make you cloudy. And so you'll start putting the cart before the horse. On the flip side, if she wants to have children, hey, when would you like to have children? I'd like to have children in the next year or 2. If she says she's ready to have children in a year from now, I met a woman like that. She says she wants to have a child a year from now or start having children a year from now. You do realize that it takes 9 months to make a child. So you initially will be you guys will have 3 months to enjoy each other at best before, according to her, before next thing you know, you're getting ready to welcome an addition into the world. And you might not be there. And what's wrong with telling her, wow, okay, you want to have a child you want to start having children a year from now. I don't know how this is going to sit with you, but I'd be remiss to tell you I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you. I do want to have children, but I don't want to have them a year from now. Well, when do you want to have them? I want to have them maybe like about 5 years from now. She may say, well, I really like you and I want to be with you. You're worth me waiting 5 years. And don't lie to her just to pacify her. If I tell her 5 years, maybe they'll give me some time to convince her that I don't want to have any children and she'll be okay with that. No. You'll end up looking up and 5-10 years pass and now you guys are getting a divorce or you guys are breaking up. And then you just wasted 10 years of your life when the average lifespan for a man is 78 to 82 years old. So you would take 10 years from that when you could have been building something or doing something that you wanted and needed to do, all in the name of, listen, I know she's bad. I know she's a baddie. I know she's fine. But she ain't the only fine one in this earth for you. And women aren't visually stimulated the way men are visually stimulated. Women are stimulated with security and production. So I'm telling you, if you're handsome, it helps. But even if you're not handsome, if you just take care of yourself decently and you go out there and you master your craft and do your thing, you're not going to have an issue with the women that you choose to choose from. You're going to have the world will be your oyster. and you can choose whatever you want to choose. But it goes back to the root of, you can't tell that woman what you really, really want. See, some of you men don't know how to be faithful and don't want to be faithful. But you will lie to a woman and paint yourself as faithful when in reality, you have the ability to juggle multiple women. Yeah, but I can't tell her that. Nobody's going to go for that. Look around. We're in the information age. There are a lot of women that would prefer to be in a relationship with a man who has multiple women. They might not prefer you being out there and sleeping with whoever you want because of diseases and things of that nature. But they would love to have females in their circle that they can be friends, build, and grow with for the common cause. It's a lot of women out there like that. But you are very closed-minded and you don't think they exist. You gotta find somebody that is okay with the type of energy that you really want to display. Because I'm going to tell you, there's not too many places on this earth that you can come to, let your hair down, take off all of your clothes, and be unashamed. And I ain't talking about your body type. I'm just saying figuratively and literally, just to be able to let your hair down and be yourself. When I go home to my wife, I have a place of refuge where I can unadulteratedly be myself. I have that. I also know what it feels like when you come home not having that and being with somebody that's not your friend and does not care about your best interest. That's a terrible place to be. Why would you want to do that? Because you too scared. Listen, if you weren't so dependent upon the system, you wouldn't care if you got unplugged from the system. So you need to develop a propensity to not care about being plugged to the system and work out your own salvation and create your own. Because when you create your own, the problems, the challenges, the trials, and the tribulations that you're going through, you don't have to go through them quite the same. You know what I found out about this racist system we live in? Because see, whether you're anywhere on the spectrum from white or brown, right? I don't agree with people being racist. Now, I agree with people being prejudiced, but the system doesn't lend itself to certain people. And it does lend itself to certain people. And I'm not going to go into that. But what I'm saying is racism is prejudice with systemic power. When you and your preferences suppress, hurt, harm, or endanger another group of people, that is racism. Now, who can do that in this world? Well, for the most part, there's certain people that can do that wherever they go. And then there may be certain people that can do that in certain locations. But all in all, to hurt, harm, or endanger or suppress someone because of your preference, that ain't the way, that ain't the look. But that's what society is. So you gotta ask yourself, how plugged into society are you going to be? And if everything, including the bread you eat every day, is predicated on the society that you live in and being plugged into it, you're going to have a tough and rough life if the system doesn't bode well for your prejudice. There are certain people on this earth that can't go to certain places and can't do certain things because of certain people that won't allow them to do it, covertly or not, right? But if a disenfranchised person can cultivate and create something of their own, then they have dictatorship over things that they couldn't dictate before. Now, everybody deserves the right to be able to dictate life, freedom, and the pursuit of happiness. But under certain circumstances, just it's not going to happen. It's just like you will never, unless you hit the lottery or something strange happens, you will never become wealthy working a job, no matter how much they're paying you. Because the more you make, the higher the tax bracket. The higher the tax bracket, then you have to do certain things, and then you have to keep up with certain things, and that's why they call it a rat race. And don't think that people that are in the rat race are the ones that are struggling. It's some very successful people from a monetary standpoint that are in the thick of the rat race. Tell that woman what you want, man. Let's keep it there. Tell her what you want. Tell her what you're looking for. Tell her what you need. Okay? If you're a man, don't be concerned about the things that you want, but tell her what you need. And don't let a woman tell you that what you need is not what you need. No one will ever understand you like you understand you. The best that somebody can hope for is comprehension of what you're trying to do. And that's all you're looking for a woman. You're not looking for a woman to understand you. I know there's a song out talked about what I need from you is understanding so we can communicate. Well, in theory, that does sound good, but who's going to ever understand you front to back like you understand you? The best thing that they can do is give you the comprehension that they understand. Remember when you were in school and you talked about reading comprehension? It wasn't reading understanding. It was reading comprehension. Because there were certain subjects that you read that you didn't like and or agree with, but you could comprehend it and you could see why it worked the way that it worked. Well, that's the thing. When you're trying to communicate to the person that you want to be with, you are essentially trying to get them to comprehend what you're doing. If I said, for an example, we're going to become wealthy by doing real estate, and my wife couldn't really see how that was going to happen or didn't understand how that was going to happen, yes, hello? Hey, I'm doing fine. What's going on? I do apologize for that. I thought I, anyway. Okay. As I was saying, if you need to know if somebody is interested in making the adjustments for you to be with you. If you're with someone who doesn't want to make any sacrifices or any compromises, and the things that you need to do, you are unable to do because of this stubbornness, it's okay to be stubborn. But stubborn alignment, see, a lot of people think being stubborn is a bad characteristic. A lot of times the characteristics of a person isn't bad. It's just not adjusted in the right way for it to be beneficial. If you're a serious person, let me run it down for you. If you're a serious person, if you are a no nonsense person, if you are a person that can snap real quick, if you're a person that you're, you're fun loving, any of those, any type of adjectives that you can think of to describe a person's character, you could be any of those things. But if it's properly aligned, then it works. Let's look at you being a no nonsense. Let's say you are a person that snaps real quick. Okay, society would say that that's a bad characteristic and you need to develop more patience and more tolerance for things. But I would say that you don't necessarily need to abort that characteristic about yourself. You just need to fine tune it so it works to your advantage. So if you are a type of person that snaps real quick and you're non tolerant of certain things, okay, if you're focused on the things that are righteous and the things that are good for you and those that are affected by you, then being a person that is not tolerant of many things and a person that'll snap real quick will be good if you're focused. Because anything that derails you off your focus, you will quickly address, you will quickly spaz out on it, and you will quickly snap on anybody that's trying to disrupt that. If you're a fun-loving person and you like to laugh all the time and you don't take things in really serious, people say, "Well, you'll never accomplish anything because you don't take anything serious." Well, if you're on your purpose and you're on your path, maybe your purpose and your path that you're on is a very stressful path. And the fact that you're an easygoing, fun-loving, jokester type of person helps you deal with the things that come with the stress that you're dealing with, and the perception that you have helps you move forward compared to somebody else who doesn't have that ability. So stop letting people tell you that the characteristics about you are bad. Look, if you're a killer, right? If you're the type of person, and I'm being very extreme, but if you're the type of person that you will pull out your gun and shoot anybody, right? Well, if you don't have any aim with that, that's a terrible thing. That's a terrible thing. But if you're like that and you find something or something worthy of protecting, and you will snap and take somebody out for a good cause, like being a soldier, or like protecting your wife and children, tell me how that's a terrible thing now. Because, see, killing isn't the same thing as murdering. When you murder someone, it's senseless. But when you kill someone, like if you're hunting, right? That's purposeful because you're killing to eat, or you're killing to protect a group of people or a person. It's self-defense. So see, it's not the same. Killing is not the same thing as murder. So you see what I'm saying? And a lot of times if you have killed somebody out of self-defense and folks catch wind of that, a lot of times that saves you a lot of problems because folks know you willing to do something. You willing to take it there. Even though if that's never your intentions, you ain't showing everybody your hand and saying, "Hey, look, I only did that because of this, that, and the other." If they think I bet not talk to you wrong, or I could end up on the 6 o'clock news, let them think that. Let them think that. In my life, people have thought things about me to my advantage, and people have thought things about me to my disadvantage. And then there have been people that have tested me to confirm if I'm like that, and I mitigate the risk and measure if I want to answer the call of that. I had a guy one time say to me, "Hey," I had a guy one time He tested me because he didn't think I would lay hands on him. Because he had, after doing research, he had come to the conclusion that the reason that people didn't mess with me was because of my size. And he didn't think I had it in me to do it. And so he tested me. And when he tested me, I made, I measured the risk, and I found a way to let him know that I was about that type of smoke under the type of circumstances he put me under. And as I was giving him the smoke, he, oh, hey, I didn't think, hey, listen, man, I ain't mean nothing by it. I didn't mean nothing by it. Man, I'm so sorry. He wasn't sorry. He was sorry I responded. And sometimes that's what you have to do. Sometimes, in order to not be bullied, you got to whip some out of their hind parts. Because if people think that they can walk all over you, they will. And that's what you're doing, fellas, when you, okay, maybe a woman is not physically dominating you, but she's walking all over you because you are being a simpleton. Some of y'all call it simps, but in long term, in the full term, you're being a simpleton because you are saying whatever you think they want to hear, and you're doing everything that you think they want you to see you do. You going out there and you spending this money on this, and you know you need money for your purpose. You going out there and you're trying to do this because you're trying to flex. You're trying to flex on these guys out here in the street because you want them to know, hey, I ain't nothing to play with, or you know what, no matter what you see me have, I'm going to do whatever I want to do and you ain't going to stop me. And it's just like, okay, you may be inviting some unnecessary trials and tribulations that may hurt, harm, endanger, or kill you. And it's just like, do you really want to do that? Because the real flex is, I don't have to flex. I used to think, until I went to play football at Ohio State, I used to think that great leaders, this is how silly, I think about words. This is how silly I was thinking. I used to think in order to get people, a group of people to do something, you had to scream, holler, and yell at them. You had to have a strong voice. And you do have to have a strong voice. But I learned through Coach Tressel that the man that screams and holler isn't a man that's got control. That's a man that is showing that he's lost control. Can you do the most by doing the least? That's a man that's in control. When you walk into the house and your kids are acting up and you scream and holler and then you beating them, does that mean you have control? Or would you say if you walked into the house and the kids were out of control and you just gave them a look without saying anything and they got in line, who would you say has more control? The beater, the screamer, the kicker, and the hollerer, or the person that can just walk in there and look? And you know what? You can't have that unless you have a presence. Presence, get that? A presence, being there. You have to, when you're in a relationship with a woman, you have to, yes, you have things that you have to prove. But you don't have to prove them in the way that they think you ought to prove them. Case in point. I was dating this girl one time, and she asked me early on, she said, can you fight? I had never heard a woman say that. Like, can I fight? I said, nobody's ever asked me that. She was like, well, you know if you can fight or you can't fight. I said, I'm capable of doing anything that I need to do. And that's all you need to know. And then she proceeded to put me in presumptuous situations to see if I could fight. And was growing upset visibly with me when I used tact and diffused situations that she was lighting fire to. Long story short, we cut that relationship off, But what I am saying is there will be people that they feel like their job is to test your gangster. And you don't have to be a gangster to survive. You don't have to be a gangster to get respect, and you don't have to see. Listen, it's two ways to get respect. You can get respect from fear, or you can get respect from the body of work that you lay. You didn't hear about Bruce Lee getting in a whole lot of conflict with people, right? But his body of work garnered him the respect that a man who uses fear is seeking to get. You know, you done killed you done killed a whole lot of people. You got a whole lot of bodies under you, and you feel this respect that people have for you. They're not respectful of you. They just fear you. And because they fear you, they just haven't come up with a way on how to deal with the fear. But best believe, if they ever figure out how to deal with that fear, then you lose what you consider to be respect from them. And you're always looking over your shoulder when you rule with the iron fist. You know, a lot of these young guys out here, they talk about, I got ops everywhere. Well, it's because of the decisions and the choices that you make. And I'm not mad at you for making those decisions or choices, but it's the equivalent to me of when a child messes up, you beat that child. Is that as creative as you can be to get that child in alignment? I mean, and is that actually getting the child in alignment by beating them? Or you just don't have any kind of mental creativity to be able to get the result that you want. Now, there's foolishness trapped up in children all abound. But it takes a presence, you being present, and getting an understanding. And you know, I know I said earlier about comprehension, but see, here's why you can understand your children, because your children at least got 23 chromosomes of you. So it's really you passing something on that was once yours. So you still have the opportunity to be able to understand them. And when you understand them and how you understand yourself, then you can come up with the most effective ways of getting accomplished what you need to get accomplished. But if you don't have any sense of who you are, and you don't have any sense of who they are, forget understanding and forget comprehension. You're going to go to the extreme to get the result that you want, but you may be getting the result that you would like today, but you're breaking them for tomorrow. And do you want to raise a broken child up to be an adult? Do you see what a broken man or woman looks like today in modern day society? They don't know how to deal with any problems, so they hurt other people. You know why? Because somebody didn't know how to deal with a problem with them, and that person hurt them by either absence or painful presence. So yeah, tell a woman how you feel. Tell her what you want, okay? This is why I've said this before. What are we out here doing dating? Dating is, there is a place for dating, and you're not going to like this, but dating is for married folks. Dating is for married folks. See, because here's why it's for married folks. When you date and you're not married, it teaches you how to divorce. That when things don't go well, you can cut it off. And things in your relationship aren't going to go well. But why would we take our minds into a relationship that we give an exit strategy to? We are supposed to talk about we are supposed to have clear-cut communication about the exit strategy, but they should be done in a courtship phase. Just like one person dying and the survivorship. It should be done in a courtship phase. It can come back and be addressed at a later time because you had life changing events that have happened and it has changed your position. But the pertinent, important questions that you're supposed to ask, you're not going to do when you're dating somebody. But if you are going through a courtship with somebody, everything's being laid out on the table. Everything. And it's great because the feelings aren't involved. And remember, feelings are like fog. And remember, feelings make things hard to see. And love is blind. So why would you want to be in love with something that you don't even comprehend or know? You want to be in love with something that you feel comfortable with. Because if love is blind, if I turn the lights off in your house, you know your house. So you're going to know where everything is. You've had a snapshot of it that's embedded in here. So you pretty much know where everything is. With the exception of new toys or clothes or whatever the case may be that's appeared here. But if everything is in decent order in your house, you know where everything is. And you can walk in your house with your eyes closed. This is what courtship does. Courtship gets you familiar with the person, the house of the person that you're in. Okay? Because that's in love, right? So courtship is about the familiarity of the who's, what, when, where, whys, and hows of the person that you are considering. And vice versa. So now you understand how to speak to this person, you understand how to talk to this person, you understand how to listen to this person, you understand what this person needs, what this person wants, what this person expects. You understand how this person operates, this, that, and the other, whatever the case may be. Now, you turn the lights off. And you're not jacking each other's lives up because you guys decided to give courtship a try, which our ancestors did, and they had more meaningful, long-standing relationships than we do. And instead of that dating stuff, y'all look at our ancestors as like, oh, the women were weak, this, that, and the other, whatever the case may be. A woman that has what she needs in terms of security and provisions, that ain't a woman that's really trying to go anywhere. If a man is giving a woman security and provision for whatever it is she needs, look, given the option, if a woman has the option to go out there and make her money the hard way through labor, or use her husband's money and be a good steward over that, which one you think she's going to take? Oh, I'm a woman, I got to be out there working. Yeah, but even if you want to be out there working, every day you don't want to do 40 hours a week. No, you ain't trying to do that. Some weeks ain't like that. Sometimes you just want to there's something going on, someplace you want to be, someplace, anything. And then you can't do it because you have these obligations to your job. The reality is, any man or woman wants to work when they want to work. And even in good discipline, no man or woman wants to work all day, all night. And if they're working all day and all night to escape a reality, that's bad in and of itself. But any woman or man wants to be able to have choice. And you can have choice, especially if you're working together. You may not have choice right out of the gate, but you can have you could have a plan for choice. And we're not going to be able to have the choices that we want right now. Like I said earlier about, maybe I didn't say this, but just like a tax preparer, their busiest season is from January until like April, May, June, right? Their work schedule in those months may look a lot different than their work schedule in the other 6 to 8 months. And if they're very, very much so a good steward, they teach other people how to do what they do, and then they got to work less and less, and they get more done. And then they take the profits of what they're making, and they start making that money work for them too. And then get in a situation where they're an investor, and they have all of their money is working for them, and everything else is a hobby, anything that they want to do. And folks typically like that, they get to dedicate themselves to a philanthropic effort to be able to spend their working time doing something that's meaningful and impactful in terms of ministry to others. And when I say ministry, I'm not talking about church. I'm just saying anything that's meaningful and impactful in a positive way to other people. So, fellas, ladies, you gotta be honest with each other. Don't believe this lying crap that you you can't be upfront and honest right away. That's that I'm meeting your representative and not who you really are type of thing. And everybody's representative is tailored to the other person's showcase of desire. Oh, that's what she wants? Okay, I'll be that. She fine. I just need to get close enough to her. Oh, as long as I can get close. Once I get her in bed, ooh, it's gonna be over when I put it on her. Like, and that may be so, but like, do you want to put it on somebody that's not gonna be good for you? I mean, because what she got between her legs is what every woman's got between her legs. I mean, sorry. Ask anybody. Ask anybody who slept with a ton of women. Okay? The only difference between one woman and another is the shape, size, flexibility, and their participation in the game. But they all generally will help you achieve what it is that you desire in the first place, which is to release. So find a woman that is a vibe with you to help you release. And then your focus won't be on the release. And then the release will be more meaningful with that person. And you will consider their release too. Because they want to release, women want to release too. And women are really, most of the time, they have to be in a certain mindset to release. So if they're not in a good mind space to release, no matter how hard you try, fellas, you may not be able to, no matter what you got, you may not be able to help her get to where she wants to get to because it's such a mental thing for her to engage in the physicality. And you say, well, some women, they can just do whatever they want anytime they want. Like, even if things are going on or whatever the case may be. Yeah, they have to train themselves to get to that point. See, modern women are nothing more than women who have trained themselves or allowed themselves to be acclimated to doing certain things in certain ways, which I call modern women with misplaced masculine energy. You know, me and my friends call it that because it's really true, because a lot of times you might be dealing with a woman that might get up in a man's face and threaten him and hit him. That's very masculine. And then you've seen videos of women who have hit men and are shocked when a man reacts and hit back. And then say, how could you hit a man? How could you hit a woman? Were you acting like a woman? So were you asking for it? It's not right, but were you asking for it? And then there are real women out there who are really getting hit from a man. I don't want to say really, because a hit is a hit. There are women out there that are getting hit by men, and they're real victims because this man has a mental problem. But you're going to test a man. It is a real woman ain't interested in testing her man. She ain't trying to test her man. She can get her information strategically in a better way, and that's the courtship. You feel like you got to test a man because Your actions are primitive. You don't know any better. And you're taking advice from your girlfriends that don't have men. Just like I said about a man, a real leader doesn't have to lay his hands or raise his voice on his followers. There may come a time where he has to raise his voice, or whatever the case may be. And in select situations, he may have to raise his hands. I don't I don't think it ever comes to a point where you have to raise your hands. I don't think it ever comes to a point where you have to raise your voice. Because look, if you're supposed to be following me and you're not following me, I'm not going to scream, holler, or hit you to make you follow me. You just got to get out of my you got to get out of my group. That's it. Why are you kicking me out? You're not following the plan. You're not following what I'm saying. So we have to go ahead and call this show off. Yeah, but I love you and I care. Oh, I know. You love me. Yep, you care about me. All that other stuff like that. But you don't care enough to follow me. Yeah, what you asking for is crazy. I understand that what I'm asking for, most people can't do, or most people won't do. But I'm not willing to compromise certain things because my vision manifesting is the most important thing to me. And for the right type of person or the right type of people, what I'm asking for, it won't be much. So I think you need to find somebody that you can pair with, or whether you want to be by yourself or not, you need to find somebody that you can pair with that what they need from you and vice versa is more natural. And yes, everybody needs to make changes in their lives. Some people don't want to make change. And there's one thing is worse is trying to force somebody to grow. I remember Michael Jordan said he used to hang from chin-up bars so he could grow. And we don't know if that really worked. It sounds pretty funny. But what he was trying to do is he was trying to force growth. I mean, that was his mindset. He wanted to just force growth. You can't force people to grow. They're either going to grow with you or not. You can, even when you're trying to grow with somebody, it's your choice to grow with somebody. But nobody can make you do it. And if growing with somebody is compromises who you are as a person and you don't like who you're becoming, you shouldn't grow with them. You don't have to be, you could be amicable, but you can just say, listen, this ain't working for you or me. It's not you, it's me. You know? Take accountability and say, look, it's just, you need someone that's going to grow with you at a certain level. And I can't see myself doing that. And I don't want to hold you back from getting where you're trying to get to. I don't want you waiting around for me to change or waiting around. That's something that I have to want to do. You know what? Maybe in the future, if the stars align, then I can be with you if I'm on that type of time. But I'm just not on that type of time right now. And it's more important for me to be on the time that I'm on than it is for me to change the type of time I'm on to get on your time. Now, did that have to take a bunch of kicking, fighting, fussing, and arguing? Is there gonna no? Is there gonna be feelings hurt and is there gonna be disappointment? Sure, but a moment of pain versus a lifetime of it, fellas. You don't manifest what you created to do on this earth. You will be the most unfulfilled sucker. It ain't no fulfillment in it. There is no other purpose for you except your purpose. And you cheat yourself because you are scared. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Uh, Shout out to Jay Luke. I heard him say this about poor. Poor is, what did he say? He said, poor is something correlated to like postponement of opportunities or something like that. But basically, it was a great acronym, and he said, when an opportunity presents itself and you choose not to take advantage of that opportunity, and you create a life of opportunities that come your way, and you always got some reason or some excuse why you don't take advantage of that opportunity, guess what? You will be poor, because the man that takes action is the man that eats. The man that doesn't take action is the man that will starve. If you're out hunting and you got your gun and you never shoot it, you ain't gonna kill anything, you ain't gonna catch nothing. You might take shots and you might miss, but you taking the shot, eventually you're gonna hit. You're gonna hit because you're gonna get better and you're gonna shoot more accurately. You're gonna learn from the lessons that you had from not being able to hit your target. You just get better just by doing something. But you will not get better and you will not grow if every time an opportunity presents itself, you turn away from that opportunity or you make an excuse why you can't take advantage of that. That ain't what it's supposed to look like. Some of you missing your blessings because you got an idea of what it's supposed to look like, and yet and still, when you have that situation occur for you, you miss your blessing. See, sometimes it's something that comes along in your life that's supposed to get you from point A to point B. And I'm not talking about people. I think it's crass to use people to get where you want. Okay, unless it's a comprehension and a flow of that is organic. If that person has an understanding that I'm just trying to help you get to the next level, and whatever the case may be, that's totally fine. But a lot of times, you got to be careful, fellas. These women will, these females will pose as if they want something meaningful, because they know if they tell you what they really want, you're not going to give them the time of day. So, fellas, you have to create, even if you care and you're concerned so much, you have to create an environment where a person maximizes the opportunity to be able to tell you the truth. That means you can't just, what do you mean? What? How you mean it? You can't do that. You have to not let your highs get you high and not let your lows get you low. And then when you're telling a woman what you want, stop making her the center of what you want and tell her, hey, listen, ultimately, I don't know what the future is going to hold, but this is what I want. This is what it looks like for me. Then that takes the pressure off of her to be something. She might be down with what you want. You might say something crazy, I want 7 women. I want to live in a palace, and I want to have 50 children, and I want to run successful businesses, and 3 of my wives help me there, and 4 of my wives stay home, or whatever. Something crazy, anything that you can come up and imagine, or whatever the case may be. And she might look at that and say, maybe not at that moment, but she might be like, I'm still interested, I'm going to hang around, or whatever the case may be. But now you done already let her know where you ultimately wanted to go. So it's no secret. And then she may say, you know what? I can see it. I can see it. And I can see how I can be involved with that. And I don't mind. Matter of fact, actually, it would be helpful to me to be able to have somebody sharing the responsibilities of me, because the hardest job in the world is to be a wife and a mother, and I'll have help with that. It's women out there that can see what you can see. They may not be able to see all that you can see. Now, don't get it twisted, fellas. Everybody ain't made for that kind of lifestyle. You can't handle one relationship, please don't try to go out there and handle two just because it's something that you want. Hey, listen, some of you want to drive Bugattis and own Bugattis, but you just don't have the money to be able to buy it. Everything that glitters ain't gold and everything that you want doesn't necessarily mean that it is for you to have. You may have a desire about something that you're not supposed to have, you ain't equipped to have, and you ain't no way in heck you're going to be able to have the wherewithal to be able to house that idea. So it's about where you're trying to go and what you need to get there and who can help you get that, because that's what a woman is created to be. She's created to be a companion and a helpmate. Don't let them tell you anything else. And if they say, oh, well, I was created to be a leader, and I was created to be this, and I was created to be that, okay, no one's going to question that. But you can't be that with me, because that doesn't jive well with where I'm going. And that doesn't mean that what you want and what you're doing is wrong. It just means that it's not a good fit for us with the philosophies that you have and the philosophies that I have. And I don't have time to waste. I gotta find what I need. Just like a job interview, right? You go on a job interview, they tell you what skill sets a lot of time to have and what you need to have. And you need to have a bachelor's degree. You need to have a master's degree. You need to be proficient in this. You need to be proficient in that. You have to have this many years of experience with this and this many experience years with that. Guess what? If you don't have those types of things and you lie on the application, you may get the job, but you ain't gonna keep it. People hire whom they like, but liking you has no place in the determination of if you can get the job done. And a lot of times, fellas and ladies, we project something that we're not. And it's great to project, but when you project something, there's something that needs to be done in a natural realm to manifest it from the spirit realm. You just can't go and project stuff and then all of a sudden it's gonna appear. You have to, when you want something, right, and you say, I want this. Let's just say I want a business making $1 million a year. Do you really think that you can just sit there and wait for it to happen and then it's gonna happen? Nope. It's not gonna happen. You know what you gotta do? You have to develop the skills. You have to put in the work. At least you got to go and search for it, because things aren't going to be dropped into your lap in life. They're dropped in a certain place, and it is predicated on if you move into position to get that. Let's say that I ask for a bag of money, right? That money's not going to drop in my lap. That money may take me going straight down the street, making a right, making a left, making a right, and making another left, and then making a left, right? And it's going to get dropped at that corner when I get to the end of that road. So it's going to take me some time to get there, and there are going to be things that I learn along the way. But when I make that when I make that right, and I make that left, and I make that right, and I make that left, and I make that right, and then I make that left, if I'm on schedule and I'm on time, not only will I get to the bag being presented to me at a certain place on my path, but I've developed what I need to develop to be able to pick up that heavy bag. See, some of you, when you get in front of your bag, you don't even have the strength to pick it up, let alone hold it. And then you get so upset because you go through trials and tribulations. You go through resistance. But these things are building up strength in you so that you can be able to be prepared for something that you can't handle right now. So when you're able to get to the point where you've been through what you were supposed to go through, you didn't fight, you didn't avoid storms in your life. You didn't avoid going through anything that was bringing resistance to you. You had a mindset of, this isn't a loss that I'm facing, this is a lesson that I'm facing, and I'm going to learn from it. Then when you get to the place that you're supposed to get to in your journey, you know exactly what to do when you get there, and you have everything that you need to take advantage of what's being presented to you. See, because that's the way life works. Life is not about chasing money. I hear you. I hear people talk about chasing money, this, that, and the other, whatever the case may be. You were not designed to chase money. Money was designed to be a magnet. You were designed to be a magnetic charge to attract money. And everything that you're attracting in your life has something to do with what you're charged as. So what's your charge? A person, for an example, a person that's lazy and ain't out there getting it and hustling and meeting people and networking or whatever the case may be, they have no chance of a bag, or little chance. What I mean by that is they're going to have to hit the lottery or something like that. How likely is that? But a person that goes out there and meet people and talk to people and connect with people and try to do the sincere things or whatever the case may be, there's no telling when the day or the hour is going to come, but they're more likely for it to come. And if it's in their purpose, it's not if it's going to come, it's a matter of when it's going to come. See, as I said before, you're getting lessons from a whole bunch of people that don't have even comprehension of your situation. And that's why you keep failing in life. But if you were tapped in, the divine energy would teach you all things that you need to know. And you would be accurate in your steps. And you would move in the steps that were ordered for you. But you ain't doing that. All you're doing is sitting around lying to everybody, flexing, trying to pretend you're something that you're not, trying to make people think you got what you don't, trying to just simply trying to make an appearance, showing your representation of what you hope to be. You want people to think that you're strong and you're not. You're walking around sucking in your gut because it's embarrassing that you have one to yourself, and you want to make people think that you got a washboard. Okay, you don't have a washboard. But there are people out there that have washboards and they work for them. And I told you, respect is better when you earn it instead of manipulating to get it. That's not, respect only comes by one way. Because making people fear you is similar to what respect looked like, but it's not respect. See, when people really respect you, they're not trying to double cross you or wait for you to slip up. I mean, there are going to be people that do that anyway, but you'll see them coming if you tapped in. They can't catch you. Tell the person that you want to be with, fellas, what it is that you want, as crazy as it is. And maybe you're not in a situation to command what it is that you want to command. Go work on yourself so you can command what you're supposed to command. Because as a man, you don't have to worry about the biological clock. You don't. You can get it at 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. You can get it at any time. And a lot of times, for real, men don't have no timetable on when they can have children, reproduce, this, that, and the other, whatever the case may be, start their life, buy their home, this, that, and the other. All they have to do is be focused on what they got to get and what they got to do and be laser focused about that. And then everything that they want is going to be added to them. Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, running over. And men will give unto your bosom like crazy. When I say men, women, men, all that. The rich don't get rich for no reason. They practice fundamental methods, and the law of attraction takes place. And you say, man, he already got money. Why he getting more opportunity? Because a lot of times people want to be linked up to people who know what to do with opportunities. Like credit, you can't get loans if you bad with credit. And if you bad with credit, hey, I've been there. You bad with credit, then you have to get better with it and good with it. And then you show people, oh, I know what to do with money. And then they say, you do? Man, well, I got some money that I can give you. You seen that show Shark Tank? Those those venture capitalists don't have the ideas that are being presented to them, but they're in a postured position to have the opportunities come before them and pick and choose what they like. You think that they up there because they want to make money from what the television show is giving them? No. They want the next idea that's going to transcend and make an impact in the world. You know why? Because there's money in that. All right? So I'm going to wrap up there. My closing thoughts. Stop dating out here and start courting. Tell the person everything that you want and need. It's in particular what you need, fellas. Don't even be concerned about what you want, because if you get what you need, but remember this, a want can't turn into a need, but a need can turn into a want. Shout out Yanai for that. And so many things that we talked about. But I'm just telling you, if you focus and concentrate your energy on doing what you're supposed to do and telling the person or the people that come into your life where you are, where you stand, and where you're trying to go, it gives people an opportunity to see if they're a fit. Because everybody's not a chief. Majority of the people are not here on this earth and going to chief their vision. Most people will default into Indians. And there's nothing wrong with Indians like chiefs, but everybody can't be a chief. Most people are going to be Indians. Most people are made to follow. Less people are made to lead. And if you're made to follow, male or female, that's cool. Be the best follower that you can be. Better be tied to your purpose. But if you are made to lead and you rob yourself of doing that, you are going to have a life full of regrets. And that's my time. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you share this video. Okay, and make sure you comment on this video. And I would love for you to follow me. Follow me. Let's get these followers up so we can help these algorithms get in front of more people, because there's somebody that needs to hear. Just like somebody needs to hear from you, somebody needs to hear from me. But I can't do this alone, because I'm an interdependent being. Later for that independent stuff. I'm an interdependent being. I need you, just like I need your eyes. I'm not going to beg for your eyes, but I need your eyes, because that helps me reach the people that I need to reach. And I'm not trying to sit here and make money and depend on this for money. I want to do this because it's about the outreach, and you help me with that. So would you do that for me? Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Take care. I love you guys.